Harry, they're a pitcher, dishing it out, giving the orders, having the say. Or the catcher, waiting around to handle what the other fella sends your way. From now on...
Welcome back to Midday Live. You just heard the voice of our next guest as he appeared in Broadway in the musical I Can Get It For You Wholesale. I refer to Elliot Gould. From Brooklyn, one of our fine American actors, has appeared in such films as MASH, Bob and Carol, Ted and Alice, The Last Goodbye, or The Long Goodbye. The Long Goodbye. And most recently in a very amusing film, which I saw the other night, called I Will For Now. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. That was a surprise.
Hearing yourself from I Can Get It For You Wholesale? We ran out this morning and got the album. We didn't have it around. Was that was like the first really major big thing in your career, was it not? You had done things before.
Could you tell the audience that I'm sitting on Harry?
You're sitting on Harry Shapiro. He thought so much of him. And his stand on Capital Punishment just came and sat right on top of him. You want to get up and let Harry off during the commercial?
Okay.
We can do that. You're not in favor of capital punishment, huh?
No.
I didn't think so.
I don't even like capital letters.
No? You just use the small, the tiny little ones? How about printing?
Printing. What people print?
It's very true. The movie, which I obviously like to talk about, not just because, you know, you're here to talk about it, but there's a thing in that movie about contract marriages. The basic premise is that after several years and the fact that you're divorced from your wife, who is portrayed by Diane Keaton, you're still in love with her, right? So what ensues?
Well, I meet her again, and we go to a new form of a marriage through a legal formal contract, which is pretty funny.
A contract marriage?
Yeah, just a relative understanding, which is what marriages means.
But it's set down and it's worked out with a lawyer who in the movie would rather be marrying your wife.
Yeah.
Right. But what are some of the things that in this contract marriage that you're set down to do by Diane Keaton? Some of the things that she makes you do for.
Oh yeah. Well, we have to really learn how to share our time and to be able to help one another. And so in the banalities of the world that those people live in, you know, cleaning toilet bowls and scrubbing floors and stuff, that's pretty good. If you like the place you live, it's not bad doing that, but the particular people in this movie living in a very high place, you know, who seem to be wealthy and have all the material things, don't quite know how to get back to certain basics, which is where you can work things out.
When you're in the process of doing this film and, you know, the day-to-day basis of getting into the character and the lines and the situations of a contract marriage, did any thoughts come to you about the value of this? The value of having a contract marriage where things are so specifically defined in terms of time and how people use it?
Well, like you're saying, you know, about being in love, there's a great value of saying, okay, wait a second, if we feel the same thing, that's really nice, but we got to understand who we are if we're going to be able to move together. So, of course, it's valuable, the idea of lawyers or there being a legal profession and in that particular case, that guy is not doing his job. You know, because he has self-serving purposes, which is dangerous to what we're doing in terms of making relationships work, basically for our kids. And of course, the people in that picture didn't have no kids, so
they did.
I got 3.
I know. I want to talk to you about that later, but why don't we run the clip?
Great.
This is a clip from the movie. It's very amusing, and I think you have an idea about what's happening. The contract marriage is now underway, and here's some of the tension that the various legalities impose on the two people.
Anyway.
That reminds me, Sunday I'm going to see Catfish on a pitch against the Ends of the Stadium. I got a big bet on the game.
No, it's your Sunday to clean the house.
After the game.
You're allowed 1 game a week, and you went Monday night.
Well, Monday was last week. Sunday starts a new week.
Oh, any idiot knows the weekend's on Sunday.
This idiot says it ends Saturday.
Sunday.
Saturday!
The good Lord made the earth in 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested, and that day was Sunday, the day of rest.
Well, if it's such a great day for rest, why have I been working my ass off cleaning the house? I'm going to the game.
You do, and I am leaving you.
Just don't want to hear about it anymore, all right?
Well, we made an agreement, a new start, a new way of life, and you're willing to throw it all away for one stupid baseball game.
It's not a stupid baseball game. It's the biggest game of the year. What the hell are we doing to each other? I make $250,000 a year and I'm scouring toilet bowls. Can't we get Maria back?
You never did understand what we're trying to do.
Okay, you tell me, what are we trying to do between the dusting and the beds and the mops and the toilet bowls? What are we trying to prove?
It's togetherness. It brings us together, to do, to share, to feel.
To scream!
Thanks to 20th Century Fox for that film clip. So, do you think this will work? I mean, do you think that people are going to...
Oh, you got to thank George Barrett. He produced the picture.
Yeah, George does
Thank you,
deserve...
20th Century Fox, for bringing us the 20th century. And now, what, 2001 was made a few years back.
It was?
Yeah.
How many?
A couple.
A couple.
The Capitol Theater isn't there anymore.
Well, you don't like capitals.
That's right.
So what difference does it make?
But I
You
like
don't
the
care
stage
about
show
that.
there.
That's where you did I Could Get It For You wholesale?
No, the Schubert's there, hopefully always.
Right,
The
yes.
Capitol was right across the street from the Winter Garden. And now there's nothing there.
I get horrible feelings when I walk past a place, and there was, like, the Paramount Theater, and when they tore that down.
Time marches on. Remember that in
I
the
certainly
movies?
do. In the 40s, the old black and white shorts. Whatever happened to shorts at newsreels and things like that?
Yeah.
I guess they just forgot one year to start putting them on in front
No,
of the
it
movie.
wasn't forgetting. It was the same thing that the other guys was talking about, money.
Costs too much to do all. They want to make more money just with the feature.
And then television. Television created itself.
It did. Why don't we take... we're having fun. Why don't we take a break for a commercial, and we'll return with Elliot Gould after this.
What's the use of talking? It's as plain, just from where I got my good sense and my brain. All my better qualities, my looks.
Welcome back. This is Midday Live, and we have Elliot Gould with us now. Elliot, born in Brooklyn, still lives basically in New York, is a single parent, has 3 children. And when I came in this morning, I thought I really wanted to see what your reaction was when we played the I Can Get It For Your wholesale album. How did it feel hearing yourself singing again after all these years? When you heard that? You don't hear it often, I would think.
Oh, it was nice, because I used to live right around here at the time I did that, so it's nice to hear myself when I'm back home.
Now, I think that most people, in terms of their relationships and in terms of music, have a lot of special kinds of music when, if it hits them at a certain time, you know, can really trigger responses, pleasant responses, nostalgic responses, or whatever. So I have a song that I would like to play, and I'd like to ask you, if you were, you know, in a good mood, say driving your car by yourself, you've been alone for a while, and you turned on the radio, what the kind of impact of this song on you might be. Now we'll play the song and listen to it for about, 30, 40 seconds. We're not being mean to you. I don't want you to,
Well, no, I'm sensitive to that song, Barbara singing it, and just about anybody singing it.
What about that in the song when it says, could it be that things were all so simple then, or as time rewritten every line? Do you think that happens in early relationships? We've both had early relationships.
When people are babies, that song "People" too is a peculiar song. People are peculiar. Do you?
Totally unique. Like they say that people used to make.
I thought I was lying on my back here. You see, I got a
rug like that?
just like that, and I thought I was on my back.
No, they say that. What were you saying about people?
No, I was saying, that was...
No, I know what it is.
More music. One of my first TV shows was Stop the Music.
It was?
With Bert Parks, you bet.
You were on that show?
Yeah, they had kids enacting songs.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to get back to that thing about things were all so simple then. The concept
For who?
that for all of us.
Really?
I think some of our early relationships, some of our deep early loves are very simple, and then we get complicated. Other factors enter our lives, like success and stardom.
Oh, you like to
children.
think that. You like to think that. things were simpler before. I mean, you learned that you had to do it in the potty. You know, it's simpler not to have to think about things that you got to do. And then you say, well, I don't care, but sometimes then if you're 34, I'm 37, and you know, you can't change your pants too often.
No, that's true. Talking about that, you are a single parent. You have 3 children who live in California. How do you try to arrange your life around the kids? Because I'm sure you feel a great sense of wanting to be with them as much as possible.
Right. That's correct. And that's my life, you know. So
you structure it in? Is it like in the beginning of the year?
I
you're
have
trying
to sometimes. I don't like structures, and I don't like many structures. And when it comes to life, I really hardly like any. And I find myself having to structure time for my children, which is unfortunate, but under the circumstances, we have to make our own time to get to know one another.
Why? What is there about structures that you don't like? I mean, you have a negative response to that kind of organization in your life.
Well, floors, you know. I don't mind walking flights, taking elevators, architecture, building, you know. It's life, like that plant. That's nice.
You should give that plant more credit. It's there every day. It just kind of sits there. Just wonders what all these people are doing, looking at it, and everything like that. All right, we'll take a break, Elliot, and we'll continue. I'm going to introduce you to a man who is a specialist in neurotic dogs after this. Okay? We'll be right back.